Welcome back to Healed, Whole, and Cold. I'm Wendy Melrose, and today's conversation is about becoming, stepping into the woman you've been created to be, and giving yourself permission to live that life that feels aligned, free, and true to who you are. I'm joined by Anna Moro, who shares her personal journey of becoming the woman she is and the belief that women have more freedom than they often allow themselves to embrace. Her story is a reminder that it is not just about where you start, it's about the choices you make to grow, evolve, and to step into what you truly love. So, Anna, I'm so grateful to have you on with us today.
Hey, Wendy. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really honored. And I want to say hello to everyone that's watching and listening.
Yeah. So share with the world where you're calling in from.
All right. I am calling in from beautiful Italy.
It's just so beautiful. I've always wanted to go visit. I'm on my bucket list. I want to do a 2 week trip there and go see all the things. And we'll get there. It's about a $30,000 trip with what I have in mind. So it's on the list of things to do. It's just currently not priority.
No worries, Wendy. Look, if I do a retreat in one of my vacay homes, I will reach out to you and I'll have you in there.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to shove the kids and the husband somewhere else if they are sure they're not going to let me go to Italy by myself.
That's it. That's the plan.
So I'd love for you to reflect on your journey and what were some of the defining moments that shaped you into who you are today.
Yeah, Wendy, thank you so much. Yeah, so as Wendy was saying, it's been a journey. So currently I am coaching and I'm helping other women coaches, build their own coaching online. And originally I wasn't doing that. So I'm gonna have to go back a second and a little bit of the story so that it all connects. So I actually graduated from hotel restaurant management. And actually, to get the elephant out of the room, because they're probably like, why do you speak so well English? Well, I was born and raised in Canada, and my parents are Italian immigrants. So I do have Italian background. And so graduated there, and I went through the cooking route. So I was just really cooking, and came to Italy, and met my husband, and then we had a family really quickly. And I was cooking here as well. And so here's very touristy, as you guys all know. So they would call me on, last minute, all the holidays, like all the Christmases, first Christmases, New Year's, everything. I didn't have that with my children because I was in the restaurant. They would literally come and say Merry Christmas, Ma, or Happy New Year. And it came to a point where I just went really still for like 15 years. And about 6, 7 years ago, after that 15 years, I was just sitting like really depressed. And at that time, my husband was admitted to AA. He had some issues with alcohol. And we were like heavily in debt. Like, even though I was like working these part-time jobs, and then this happened to him. We had 3 kids under the age at that time was like 12, 13, 2 dogs, which is family for me. And it was like impossible. I remember one day, like, this is not possible. Like, this is not life. Because on one side, it was like all these bills, people like knocking at the door, calling. And then, we weren't even covering it. So it's like, what do we eat? I was lucky enough to be in a restaurant. You would bring back stuff. Like, it was really like that bad. And I can't have life. Like, this just cannot. Because then, you see other things and like, why are they having a better life than like what's happening over here?
Sure.
And that's where I started questioning myself about me. Right. Just I felt lost at that stage in age. And I was about 38, 39 at that time. And so fast forward, what happened is I ended up going to a UPW for Tony Robbins. And funny enough, like, to get into there, I literally was like selling like stuff that I had in the like I didn't have like the money at that time. It was like buy the food or that's it. And I knew I had to do something different. And he came about on like the computer and this and that. And and so I went there and I realized that I was really not listening to myself. I wasn't in tune with myself. And I think that's where the point was where I had to say to myself, something has to change or nothing's going to change.
So that was in about 2019.
Yeah, just about 2000,
A little
yeah, just
after
before
COVID.
I started at like at the end of 2018. Yeah,
Uh,
something in there.
so then you go. So then, and the reason why I bring up the COVID era is because you're in the restaurant world, right?
Mhm.
So it's interesting how God created this ability for you to have this self awareness. You go and to an event, Tony Robbins event, and you realize that you need to make shifts. Now, do you make this shift right away?
The shift, well, the decision.
Yeah, that's
I said to myself, something's going to change. I just didn't know what because I didn't have the tools. And it's, funny that you say about God, right? I read this in a book, and it said the two words of God. So there's three letters to God, right? And two is go, G-O, go. And so I said to myself, I read that recently, but at that time, that's what I leaned on. I'm like, I just got to do something.
Mhm.
So that's all that came to my mind. I was like, something has to change. And when you allow yourself to have that experience, like just sit with yourself and say something has to change, you
Mhm.
allow yourself to find that change. And I think that's where the point was, the opportunity I gave myself to say something has to change. You got to change something. And I allowed myself to see things or opportunities that were coming my way, and yeah, able to say yes to those.
So what was it that you started to say yes to? What was
Well,
the change
yeah.
that you chose to implement?
Well, that's funny because the yes was first a no. So I decided to create some space around me, and I noticed that I was always last. I
Hmm.
was last on this list. It was like the day would come down. By the time I wanted to do something for me, I was just pooped. Right? I was just out of it. So I said, "Where's me in all this?" And so I had to start saying no to have a yes for me.
Mhm. Well, it's
And
interesting
yeah.
that you say the yes for me because it's the moms and it's we will put ourselves last. And I actually just started a program to start not in putting my health and my life first. And it's not in a way that everything else diminishes or becomes last. It just means I make intentional choices that put me first during the day and during whatever moments so that way I heal or I'm able to move my body, I'm able to nourish myself more efficiently. So when you started to say no to things and put yourself first, did your family notice it all, like in good ways? Because like this guy I'm starting to follow, his name is Abram Anderson. He goes, when you start to put yourself first and you start to become healthy and whole, no one gets upset about that because you become better. Did anybody
Mhm.
get upset? Because anybody that does get upset, they need to poop, poop, they need to be out of your life.
Well, first of all, when you're starting that journey, yeah, to answer your question, some did get upset. Like not upset, they were questioning because it wasn't the natural routine.
Oh,
So it
okay.
wasn't that they were upset. It was like, what's happening? Like mom doesn't really get up earlier, or mom doesn't say, "Hey, I prepared the food. Check it," because they were getting older as we were moving forward, right? So it was just little things that changed, and they were like the air was shifting. How do they say? Like the ground was shifting. Something was shifting, right? And it wasn't bad stuff that they got upset. They just noticed
Yeah.
something different with mom, right? Something's different. Something's happening.
But I bet they liked it because I mean, even if it might have been weird or different at a time, when you're able to show up more, not tired, not as a zombie, not pooped, right? Because you are taking care of yourself. I'm sure
Mhm.
that worked to their advantage at some point.
Oh, definitely. At that point, prior to this decision, I noticed the way that I was showing up was affecting the family. As
Mhm.
in, my son had failed a grade. And this all happened in a year. My husband was an AA, but that was his responsibility. But my daughter dropped out of university the first year, and then
Mhm.
at that time, my youngest daughter was 8, 9. If you would ask her what I used to ask like I asked my kids this, like, "What's your dream?" And she would, at 9 years old, she's like, I don't know if I really have any dreams. I'm like, okay, maybe that's something that we, but like kids, they just naturally like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Uh,
Nothing. And
wow.
change was then my son finished school, he recuperated and came out almost like with tens, like we have like 10 is the maximum here. My daughter went back to uni and finished in September. And my daughter decided to go all in on soccer. She finally found something that she really loved, and it's just soccer mania. So it changed because I changed. It did affect the family, yeah, in a good
So
way.
amazing. And what do you think? Why do you think so many women feel like they don't have the freedom to do what they truly love? And I'm gonna have a question before that.
Yeah.
What was it? Is it what you're doing now that what is it that you're doing now? Because did you leave the restaurant industry and now you do what?
Yeah, I left the restaurant around 2019, like COVID-ish, because then everything was going that way. But I'm coaching right now. I'm fully have my coaching business. Um, Successfully, thank God, and I'm blessed. I'm really blessed, and yeah, so that's the switch, right? I decided to help other women, and through the coaching channel. Hmm. Yeah.
So then why do you think so many women feel like they don't have the freedom to do what they truly love?
I'm going to share what I believe.
That's
Okay.
what I'm asking. I don't
Because this is my, yeah, this is my experience. I think at the time when you're in it, at that moment, is you don't want to let your family down or the people around you down. Like it's what they think, and it's stories, or maybe my own upbringing. You're supposed to be a good mom, just follow the culture or whatever, and
Mhm,
everything will be okay. You're a great mom. You have 3 kids. Everything's good. But I didn't feel fulfilled, and so I'm going to say something, and it's not a bad thing, but I think it's the way that we were taught what it's meant. You got to
mhm,
be a little bit selfish, and selfish has, as we brought up, was a bad thing. You're not supposed to think of yourself. You're not well, in my culture it was like serve, be, you know, Italians, of course, we're the best in hospitality. So it's like serve. And you're on the last, and you're not supposed to think of yourself, but you have to be a bit selfish in a good way. See, it's been uh, shared that it's bad, but you actually have to think of yourself,
mhm.
think about others. So it's like that concept of being on the plane. They tell you on the plane, if something happens, you have to put your oxygen mask on first, and then you help someone else. Because if you try to help someone else, everything's just going to go down the hole. So
Yeah,
you have to put on your own oxygen, and we don't use that in real life.
yeah,
So going back to what I was saying, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't putting myself first, and my kids weren't putting themselves first in their friendships, at school, and everything that they were doing. It was just becoming a domino effect.
right,
So I think a lot of it why women aren't doing it is because then they have to put themselves first in some shape, way, or form. You have to put yourself first for those things to happen.
right.
And oh, then maybe the kids or the spouse, or I remember my sister was calling me and be like, "What are you doing?" And like, I got those phone calls, right? So yeah, you have to go over it, and the people that love you, like you said, the ones that really support you will be there. And my sister is still here, my mom is still here, my dad, my brother, my kids, my husband, some of my friends, some of them I lost. Right? It's the truth. I didn't have all of them didn't walk the journey with me, but the ones that are here are the ones that are most important.
Well, and one of the things that I noticed, so like something that I do is I get up, I have my quiet time, right? And then I start doing my rebounder, I do my all the things for me. And then I get my kids' lunches ready, I get them off to school, and then I start my work day and I work from 8:30 to 3, and then I'm back to mom, rest time with my kids, play, or we watch shows or whatever we want to do, play VR, and then I have evening time. And people are like, how do you get your business all how do you grow your business in only 6.5 hours a day? Well,
Mm,
I learned in COVID time, and I had a different business, is that it wasn't about the amount of time you worked, it was what you did in that time, because we all found ourselves managing so many extra things we didn't plan on it. I don't know what it was like in Italy, but here we all of a sudden were homeschooling our kids and running our businesses at the same time. I'm
yeah.
assuming they're everywhere on the planet. So I just realized how to manage my time really well. It wasn't about how long of time I did something, it's maximizing the time that I did it. And so I think sometimes women feel like they need permission to only work short times because culture, at least here in the US,
Yeah.
it's run yourself into the grindstone, go, 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 get up at 5 a.m., do all your stuff, work till midnight, then you'll be successful, and then you want to die because you have no energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
a way to do it without being that aggressive. And you get the right mentorship, you do not need to work 15 hours a day. 6 is enough. And then the whole goal, I was just talking to my business mentor yesterday. She goes, the whole goal is the higher ups are like, what can I do to bring money in and work less hours? Make more money with less time. It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
And so, anyway, so I'm just wondering if you just realize the same thing. It's not about quantity of hours, it's what you do with that time.
Yeah. 100%. I 100% agree. Well, first of all, you have to remember we used to be neighbors. I was born and raised in a town near Toronto. So, grind, grind, work, work. If you have a job, what are you doing with one job? You need two,
Yeah.
and keep on going, right? And same thing here. You got to work like anywhere in the world, it's all the same thing. You got to work. But I do agree. We're fortunate, especially having these businesses. And that's why I absolutely love it. And I encourage women to get their own business, especially in this economy right now. You need to have your own business because it's the quality of the things that you do in that time. I
Mm-hmm.
have a client, she has 7 kids. She lives in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and she's running her coaching business with me. And she literally has, 7 kids. Her husband's a truck driver. She works as well. She's growing it's crazy stuff, but she's growing her business and she's getting like 2 calls a week. And because it's just those things, the things that you need to do in that time. You don't need to be on it like 10, 12 hours or whatever. And so it is a thing. You can literally like 3 days a week in like 2, 3 hours in those days and have that like income rolling in. It's just really the things, it's really that it is a thing. You're right. It is a thing. It really is. You just need to know how to do it.
Yeah. And what is it that you want? What is it that you need to do specifically to grow your business? And don't be doing what everybody else says you should do. It's really fine tuning it into what is it that you do well, and then do that and grow the business. Getting into your gift and hiring the rest out. I mean, I get that hiring out right away doesn't make sense. But the point is that focus on the growth. Then you'll have the income. Then you can hire out the little stuff. Do a VA. They're very reasonable to be able to hire out, do the little things so you can keep growing. That's how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Well, first of all, a lot of my women are just starting from scratch. And
mhm.
so I show them the way and easily you can make 100K. Like I made 100K in my business organically, no funnels, no websites, anything of that. So it's easy on that end. But where a lot of, they make the mistake is exactly what you said. They start getting in the money. It's like, let me go buy the Gucci bag, or maybe I'll go do that. And where you have to really stick down is the first income that you get is you have a proven process. Now you want to start delegating, and then they will triple it for you. And then you delegate again, and then you start seeing the money, and then you start getting back your time and like cloning yourself, right? So you have one or two, you don't really need a big team or anything because now, with online and all that kind of stuff. But, a VA, maybe someone that does your content or whatever that is, organizes all that in the back end. But it's really about that timing, and you can go super fast if you just know how to delegate the income that you're getting in.
Right. So
Yeah.
what you okay, so what fears or beliefs did you have to overcome in order to step into that freedom for yourself?
Oh my, this is a good one. Yeah, because I think this is where a lot of women are stuck. And even today I had a call and they're like, I just need the strategy. And then we're getting through it. It's like, it's an identity thing. It's not a strategy thing. So a lot of people online think it's a strategy thing. For me, it was the identity because no one in my family was business, but that's not it. That's also a belief. See? So it's like, that wasn't it. It was that switching from that. So I kept on leaning on that, like, well, no one's on the business and no one's ever done this. And I'm Italian in the culture and da, da, da. And so I don't know if I can do this. And then when I was getting into it, I was trying to do everything from a cooking mentality. So I was like trying to do this stuff. And it was like, I had to tell you the truth. If I had to wait for my own belief 100%. I don't think I would ever taken a step forward. Um,
Mm.
I had to lean on someone else's belief that saw something in me more than I saw in myself.
Mm.
Really had to. Like, I had some belief in it. Something in me was telling me, okay, do it, like just change and all that kind of stuff. But I really needed someone else to lean on someone else's belief more than my own.
No, it's beautiful. So, what would you say to the woman who feels stuck but knows deep down she's meant for more?
Yeah, what I would say is if you're having that nudge, see, here's what I would say to my women is that you can your dream, right? You can say I'm not going to do it, but if it's meant to be, your dream will never leave you. So if
Mhm.
you've been trying to do something, then you like, put it on the side and you feel like always a nudge, it means it's meant to be. And so if you feel stuck right now, what I would say is don't do it alone. I got lost a lot by doing it alone, and
Mhm.
that is the worst, longest, most frustrating, and way to try to do something. So if you're stuck, the thing that I would say is just blindly find someone that you see successful in what you want to do, whatever that is, if it's the doing or the changing within yourself, if it's mindset, if it's inner work, it doesn't matter what it is where you're stuck. Um, to reach out to that person that's overcome what you've overcome and find out how they do it and get the guidance. And I literally do this in all of my parts of my life. It's not just business. It's literally like me and my husband had a situation with our marriage. Find the marriage coach. Um, it's literally who's gone over it, and I want to know how they did it and have those sessions. It's been the easiest, fastest way, and really doing on your own is just so tough on yourself. Um, that inner talk is just destructive.
Yeah, it's so good. And so, if someone really resonates with you and just loves, your personality, your energy, and wants to connect with you to help them take that first step, how would they connect with you?
Oh, absolutely. You can reach out to me. Well, first of all, you can reach out to Wendy, anyone that's watching or viewing, but I'm in Facebook. So you can just look up Anna Moro. That's it. That's my name. And you can reach out to me personally in my DMs. Yeah, no problem.
That's
Welcome
so
to.
awesome. Any final word you would like to share with the audience before we say goodbye?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you again to you, Wendy, for having me here and allowing me to share my story and to empower other women. I think more of what you're doing and more people like you should be out there. So I do appreciate you and what you're doing for women. It is so important. Thank you to the viewers that are watching and listening. And the last message is just what you touched on the last question is if you feel stuck or you have a nudge inside of you, you know, two things I'm going to say. One, we're not trees. Trees can just grow in one place for 200, 300 years. We can get up and move. And number two, unfortunately, we don't live, no one gets out of this life alive, right? Unless, they invent whatever they're inventing now with all that stuff. But really, the honest truth is this. And so we think we always have that tomorrow. And, we don't have tomorrow promise. And so we don't know how long we're going to be here. So might as well, while you're here, do the things that you love. Last thing I want to add, a friend of mine was working in an old age home, and she said to me, I would talk to them and stuff like that. And all of them would say the same thing. I wish I did. I wish I would have. No one said anything like, family thing. They all wish they could have, would have. And so I don't want that for any of you. And I don't want that for myself being, at a certain age and be like, oh, I should have, because no one regrets what you do. You
Mhm.
regret what you don't do.
Oh, that's good.
Just go and do it.
That's so awesome. Well, I thank you so much, Anna, for sharing your testimony with us, your heart, and everyone connect with her. I'll make sure to put her link in the comments as well. So thank you all. Remember that what you're going through does not define you, and you are healed, whole, and called. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right.